The city's charter establishes within the Finance Department the Division of Purchases, the position of purchasing agent, and defines the responsibilities of both. The Metropolitan Code of Ordinances, Title IV Procurement Code, identifies that office as the central contracting office and further outlines the division's responsibilities and the authority of the purchasing agent. A few things have changed since the adoption of the code in 1992. Our responsibilities have expanded from just purchasing, and the division is better understood today's terminology as the procurement division. Outside the walls of Metro, the purchasing agent is better defined as the chief procurement officer. Metro is very fortunate to have a well-educated and highly qualified staff of procurement officers who loyally serve the city with excellence. Having been born here, raised in East Nashville, and attended Nashville's public schools, I am honored to serve as Nashville's purchasing agent. My name is Jeff Gossage. I mentioned how things have changed since 1992, but one thing has remained the same. We use lots of acronyms, strange phrases, and a lot of procurement jargon. My goal over the next few minutes is to highlight some of the most commonly used phrases and important acronyms to help you understand our day-to-day procurement process and our alphabet soup. Let's start with the types of solicitations we issue, the various methodologies Metro uses to collect information and make awards. The first is delegated purchasing authority, quotes. The Council has provided through the Procurement Code the ability of the purchasing agent to delegate purchasing authority to the department directors to make non-contracted purchases of up to $10,000 without the involvement of the procurement division. Under $1,000 requires only one quote, but from $1,000 to $10,000 it requires 3 quotes and the award made to the lowest bidder. The department is responsible for maintaining the documentation for those quotes. The second is invitations to bid, ITB. For those purchases in excess of $10,000 or where a contract is needed, the Procurement Division conducts a formal sealed bidding process. Every interested supplier registered on the city's enterprise procurement system is notified via email that a bidding opportunity is available to them. Department personnel identify the specifications and the functional requirements. The bid is posted on the Metro's website and suppliers respond to that bid. The purchasing agent is charged with the responsibility of ensuring that those specifications meet the need without being too restrictive, reducing competition. The purchases are generally commodities or very simple and easily defined services. The award is made to the lowest responsive and responsible bidder with a small business modifier. So what is responsive and responsible? Responsive means that the bid meets all the requirements of the bidding documents, while non-responsive bids do not. Responsible means that the bidder is capable or qualified to perform the work that they're awarded. The code charges the purchasing agent with including an incentive for small businesses, SBE, and service-disabled veteran-owned, SDV, businesses. That cost incentive must be quantifiable. The Business Assistance Office has been assigned the responsibility of overseeing the SBE SDV incentive program. The third methodology is a request for proposal, RFP. Not all purchases are for commodities or simple and easily defined services. Award to the lowest priced offer may fall far short of meeting those needs. A best value process is provided in the Procurement Code that allows for the inclusion of selection criteria in addition to cost. Requesting departments identify the outcomes, not the specifications, that are needed, and multiple solutions are sought to achieve those outcomes. Those criteria are intended to ensure quality, identify and mitigate costs, consider the business approach proposed to achieve those outcomes, and evaluate past experience and team qualifications. The cost and all other criteria are identified in the solicitation and weighted to reflect their relative importance. Proposals address each of those criteria. An evaluation committee, generally 3 to 5 voting members, is appointed by the purchasing agent to review the proposals. Those members include requesting department personnel, key stakeholders, and sometimes consultants or other subject matter experts. The evaluation committee reads and considers those offers. A procurement officer chairs the evaluation committee but is non-voting. Their role is to ensure objectivity and focused discussions on the evaluation criteria and the responses in the proposals. An evaluation committee meeting is held to discuss the responses and score each proposal relative to the other offers. These are consensus scores resulting from those discussions. Each evaluation committee member discusses their assessment, and based on that conversation, they arrive at a consensus, an agreed upon score for each criteria. Scores are supported by high-level justifications. Other than the group's consensus score and those justification narratives, there are no work papers. A fourth methodology is requests for qualifications, RFQ. The process is used for professional services such as financial, architectural, or engineering solutions. The last two, architect and engineering, A&E, have a very unique and defined process under the law. It follows the RFP process very closely, but the consideration of cost is prohibited under the state law, TCA, and the local laws. The selection is based on integrity, competency, and qualifications. The evaluation is conducted by a review board, and at least one of those members must be an architect or an engineer. The review board considers the proposals, selects the top 3 offers, and then those top 3 offers are submitted along with their strengths and weaknesses to the mayor for selection. Following the mayoral selection, Metro enters into negotiations with the selected firm. At that point, costs are considered. If negotiations, including cost, result in an agreement, we develop the contract. If negotiations are unsuccessful, contract negotiations are terminated, and the list of the 2 remaining firms is sent back to the mayor for selection. The process is repeated until a contract can be awarded. The fifth methodology is request for information, RFI. When Metro is entering into a new field, an emerging market, or simply not aware of a supplier base or the capabilities, we often use the request for information. However, that is all that is collected, information. That information may be used to develop an RFP or an ITB. It may be used to recruit potential sources for supply. RFIs are non-binding on all parties. The sixth is a sole brand purchase. There are times when a specific brand is necessary, but it can be acquired from several sources. An example might be a parts for a specific pump installed by Metro Water Services. Replacing an installed pump would be cost prohibitive, but the pump parts are proprietary. We would seek the brand product, but compete it among several different providers of the product. The seventh is similar to that. It is the sole source purchase. Sole sources are different though. The needed item or service is available only from one source. We often see this with maintenance or upgrades on an installed IT system. Maintenance can only be provided and performed by the provider of the software. We attempt to avoid this as often as possible. The eighth is statewide contracts, piggyback. Cities may reference contracts that the state has competitively awarded. Metro's first effort is to reference the state's solicitation and enter into its own contract with that firm. This way, Metro may seek its program applications, terms, and conditions. The ninth is the cooperative contracts. These are similar to statewide contracts, except they are conducted by another municipality or state and then marketed by a third-party cooperative. Cooperative contracts are less frequently used, but occasionally beneficial to the city. The final methodology is indefinite delivery, indefinite quantity contracts. Think of office supplies. We don't know how many boxes of staples or pairs of scissors we need in the next year, but we know we'll need supplies. So we compete a catalog and arrive at specific prices for each of those catalog items. Departments purchase from the list of products or services at their specific unit prices as their budgets allow. The amount purchased and even the specific items purchased varies over time, but each item has been competitively awarded. Okay, I know that wasn't the most exciting few minutes of video you've ever watched, but hopefully it helps you understand government procurement. A lot of questions we receive from the public is to understand all those things we've just covered. This whole process begins when a department submits a requisition in the iProcurement system, which is Metro's web-based purchasing software. They identify their needs and the scope of work. I assign that request to a procurement officer, and they work with the department to finalize the procurement method and the solicitation document. That process is addressed in another video. I appreciate your attention and look forward to serving you and the city of Nashville.